Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is 18th of September. So this is actually going to be another live simple landscape. I'm not going to go too much into details because when I go into details, it just takes a lot of time. So you have to keep that in mind. So let's try so that the way I'm going to paint is in such a way that everyone can actually follow this and paint either along with me or otherwise whenever you watch this video. So if you are here for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the videos, and hit that thumbs up button so that I can come up with more and more. I know that you guys are there, so based on that I can come up with more and more live and more videos, more other techniques as well, depending on the type of painting. So don't forget to do that. And then my daughter will be joining a little bit later. What I've done is I've taken canvas cloth this time because my idea is entirely different. Previously I took canvas panel. Where is it? It's here. A canvas panel, and then this idea is I have a different idea for how to frame this. But yeah, I'll post that how I'm going to frame it so you get an idea. It's simple framing. uh, so let's get started. So what I'm going to do is the picture which I've put it on the thumbnail is the same one. We'll try come close to it, but like I said, I'm not after exact match. I'm after the similar painting plus some techniques. So if you look at it, horizon is somewhere not at in the middle, so 3 by 4th or a little bit more than 3 by 4, so somewhere horizon, because we need to make sure that I'm going to use this pencil itself, so very lightly. And there is that water horizon is there, and then here some trees are there, then the water comes stream, and then it just goes there because there is that. And then we just follow along that one. So and then here somewhere, if that gets hidden, so we will try to take that exactly like that. Let's see. I have to see that this is actually perspective, so keep that in mind. Perspective wise, I have to draw this perspective wise, gets wider in the front. So that's our uh, horizon. Then here are the trees, and here some more trees. Let's see here somewhere it goes, somewhere there that part. And then here some trees are there, somewhere here or there, here just it goes up. So anyways, I am actually going to put some there. So this is all just going to be just field and some trees. We'll just manage with contrast and light. So I'm going to be using uh, Winsor Newton paints. The colors I have written, but still if I have changed any color here, you will get to know exactly what I'm trying to paint. So what I'll do is I'll just take Payne's gray. Let's paint the sky first, because uh, that's one of the important parts in this painting. So I'm going to use white. I have a titanium white with camel. Again, it is artist paint. So let's just take some good amount of white. Okay. Okay, so brush wise, I have these brushes. I might use fan brush for the trace, just so that I can reduce my effort. Filbert brush, one more filbert brush, round brush, and then the liner brush. So we'll see whenever we use those ones. For now, one more flat brush. So sky a little bit bigger, so I'm going to use this flat brush. I have water, I have cloth here. So what I'm going to do is let's just paint blue. Yes, I need to take a little bit of blue because blue, I'm cerulean blue. I'm not going to put blue everywhere. As you can see, it's more of cloudy. I'm just going to take a little bit of blue there. That's it. Right. Okay, so let's take a little bit of white and paint just some here and there because the effect is a little bit different, and trees are actually going to be taller here, so I'm not going to put that again. I'm not going to put here as well. There is no point in just applying paint everywhere and then not use it. We'll just do layer by layer, and mainly depend on we'll just depend on the application itself. So let's take a little bit of blue here and there. I have applied. So this will be just peeking through those clouds. Like I said, there is no point in actually applying everywhere. So I will just. So there are two, three different things that you need to keep in mind. Main thing is how you apply. Don't apply too much because the way I'm going to use cloud is a little bit different, because I will use it using one of the oldest filbert brush which I showed. So this blue I will just leave it here and there. That's enough. So as you can see, it's still wet. I'm blending it. So it's blending right. It's blending good. So if you need white, then for clouds, that's why I would just want to leave it. So just go along and then go across the entire this one and make sure that it is just enough applied on the just enough applied on the canvas, not too thick, because or otherwise if I was doing this on my own, what I would have done is so let's just see. So let's just right. Okay, so now I'll be using this filbert brush. So you get to know exactly why I'm using this. So I did not make any gray color. If I really want, what I can do, I have white here, but still what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit of gray here, little bit. As you can see, it's going to be more of dry brush rather than uh, application of color. Let's just see whether that's not enough. And also remember that it's a, as you can see, I'm not mixing too much. Acrylic paint dries darker, so I'm actually going to use this as, and then we'll come back with the white again. So remember that that's what I'm going to use. Just rub it across. We will see wherever we can get, right? Just the dry brush. We can take a little bit here, so we have a little bit here too, and go in circles on top. So the bottom, actually I'm going to leave it as is. There is one more similar to this cloud I've done with acrylic. You can actually watch that video as well. All I'm doing is the shadow part of the cloud. See, as you can see, I'm not going, not too dark when I go down. So when we go with white again, we'll put some highlights on almost all of this. Okay, there. So it might look a little bit odd here. So let's check a little bit of that color again. Mixing little by little. So any variation of little bit of value is not a problem. Darker, lighter. So even if you use any, even you can use even flat brush too. That is, as long as it doesn't have to be. Main thing you have to keep in mind that it doesn't have to be a super duper brush. So it just has to be some rugged brush. I'm using this because I can use the same thing for even trees too. So here little bit, right? So we will use a little bit of white here. Some trees and all are going to be there. Right. think that's enough. We will not exaggerate anything here, so we will try to get not the repeated shapes at least. That's what I can say. So that blue, let it be there liquid. So otherwise, if I cover the entire thing, there is no point in. Okay, now let's just take straight white here. So what I'm going to do here is I will put some white. We'll come back. Titanium white is actually uh, opaque, so you have to keep that in mind, right? Right. Okay. Let me wash this brush before I. No water whatsoever. Again, just check that there is any water there because I just want pure paint on that and just take a little bit. Okay. Now let's see if I can put that here again on top. Just stipple for now, just to get that. Okay, then I can actually wipe my brush or clean my brush entirely dry. With the same brush itself, I'm going to just smudge this little bit, and the top edge is actually at least I have some white there. Again, let's do the same thing for some of these areas too. Okay, the bottom one I'm going to smudge. I just wanted to break that little bit. Okay. Little bit white there and underneath smudge it. Little bit here to smudge the underneath. If you had applied too much paint at the first layer, you might not get that white, so you will have to wait for some time. So if you really need, I think I will just leave there itself a little bit of white there. I don't want to make it dark. I think for me it looks good. I think even on the camera, I think should be good enough for the darkness. If I really need, I can actually go a little bit of dark here and get that. Right. Okay. Let's wash the brush because I don't want. Okay, and then that white is there. I will just swirl it here, and also I'll just swirl it here too. So edges actually doesn't have to be super crisp. Remember that because it otherwise you will actually lose. They are not super crisp. Actually, they are not super crisp. So here some trees are going to be there. I think I am actually good with the sky because for me it looks good. I will leave it as is, and then we'll work on. I can actually put some more dark here just to get that the top vignette type. So then I know my focus is just at the bottom. right? Again, wash my brush. Little bit I need here to smudge that part, and little bit here too. Right? For me, it looks good. I think it's good enough. Maybe it is shining because of light. Okay, that's enough. So what we will do here is just go with the faraway trees. For that, I'm going to take, they are more bluish. Let's take, I have blue anyways. So I will take a little bit of this and more blue. And if I think in terms of perspective, I would say that it has to be a little bit not darker. Anyways, both the colors are actually not okay. That should be lighter enough. Let's add some more bluish to that. No, more blue, and I need more greens because that is too light. But actually, yes, I can take it as part of for our trees. I'm going to use my this same brush itself. Right, I can use flat brush. You can use even more. Okay, so this is actually going to be just a vertical horizon is here, so then we get some other colors here. So all I'm going to do here is just a stipple. Maybe it needs a little bit of darker, or I need to use different blue. I don't want to put too darker because they're far away atmospheric perspective wise, so I will just leave it as is. I will just manage with a little bit of this. Make sure that the top edge actually feels like there are trees from far away, not the same height. So I am actually going to put somewhere there and leave it. If I really want, just some little bit dark here and there. I should be putting some darker green, but that should be enough. They're not. They're too far away, and then they don't have to be exactly the same, right? So let's concentrate on the foreground here. So for that, what I'll do is let me take some yellow. This is yellow. So let me just take that. This is again transparent, as you can see. There are two, three yellows are there here. What I've taken is one is just the normal yellow, and then this is Naples yellow. This one is uh, opaque. So let's just see what happens. Okay, here. Okay, so I'm actually going to take this yellow with that more yellow because we need to keep that here. That is my, I can actually just stipple here, so it doesn't have to be exactly, but we will manage that later. Just after some time. Okay, should be good enough. Here, trees are actually going to be there, and then there is water here. So I'm not. I will just, yes, there it is. I won't be able to see water there. So again, I will. Okay, that just disappears. That stream is somewhere that side. Here is all trees. I'm going to put that there. That should be very, very good enough. And here again, same thing. You can use, I'm just going to go with very, very simple, so you don't have to struggle with this at all. Just paint along with me, or otherwise watch, because yes, I do spend more time on detail ones, lot of time, not that. So I'm actually going to go with just one layer here. Just horizontal. I could have used even fan brush here, but that's okay. We will come back with fan brush again. Just the simple steps. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. Make sure that you're not touching that stream. Yeah, this one can be, yes. So that edge is there, which we need to just put some, not the stones, at least some kind of burnt sienna or something, mud. So I'm actually, it's more of dry brush with whatever paint I have. So let's just see, it's a stream again. We have to put the color for the stream as well. So that should be enough, because the reason why I'm like I said, if I going for, I'm after good details, I would have done a little bit differently, because I'm actually rubbing it. So what happens is, in just in 2 minutes that gets dried, and then I will be having uh, more time for applying the second layer. So now what I will do here is, now let's start painting trees. So it's actually not difficult. I will just make it more fun. This one is quinacridone gold. I'm just using just because I have. If not, what I would say is you can go for burnt sienna. Better, I think. Let me take a little bit of, no, burnt sienna, we'll take it later. Then after that I need green, yellow, all of them I need. So let's just take more yellow. We need for all, first layer. I'm not going to, second layer we'll go with and I need little bit darker. So what I'm going to do here is lot darker green. Although I have this green, that's not enough. Let me just take either Prussian blue, or otherwise I have this actually serves my purpose most of the time. Yellow blue, very dark, so that way actually by mixing, green is already made up of yellow and blue, so not the same blue. If I use cerulean blue, we have already seen that we are not going to get that dark. So this is to get a little bit darker. You get to know, if you don't have yellow blue or Prussian blue, both of them, ultramarine, I don't think you'll get again darker. So you will have to mix with something else, but these are the colors that I have. I'm going to use this. What we'll do is, okay, let's just see this, because then we'll come up with that one. Okay, so mix this. You can actually mix with that is the color, but I am okay. Let's just see. Let's just manage these colors here first of all. So as you can see, that gold ochre, that what I have, it is, I think it is transparent. Quinacridone gold transparent, so that's okay. For my first layer it works. So here all I'm doing is I'm just trying to make sure that my values of darker and lighter colors are there. Then I can actually go with the second layer. This layer I want that to dry, otherwise like I said, I would have gone ahead with a little bit of a different technique, or layers applying will be entirely different. So here that goes on top, and then here some trees are there, but I don't know. Some trees are there here too. That one actually has to be darker than that, so we'll come back to that later. This is at the bottom, so like like a plane. So we will just make it look like a plane, and then I will just go with a little bit of green as well, and mix with my yellow blue. It actually gives me darker colors. Not everywhere. I need to make sure that all the colors are there. Just just stipple it. You get to know trees are there. That's more than enough. Make sure that you get the shape that what I am after. You can see actually see that the shape what I have done stippling is that's what, at least if you can get that, even if you make any mistake later, you know that is actually going to look like tree, right? That's enough. We'll not put darker on the places. Side of the brush, I'm using side of the brush, or otherwise, like I said, if you have, see, I'm also going to do a little bit of plain type here, so that slope. Let's just keep it that way. All this we will do some details later. Okay, so let's come on the other side, because here some small ones are there. Let me just try myself. If not, I have to use a smaller okay, let's just try. Okay, so here some trees are there. I'm going to use the side of the brush. Make sure that they're actually you have to manage the contrast here, so lighter and darker. Otherwise what will happen is the values both of them are same, you won't be able to see all the trees, so you just have to keep that in mind, right? Just a bit. So again I can go ahead with here, there. So I'll just take this color as well. You can actually use even red. Let's use a little bit of red and try, because green is yellow and blue, and red is the third primary color. If you mix all three, you are going to get a type of brown. So I will try to get that, yeah, brown. See that brown? Not everywhere again. I'm not going to use that all the places. Here, let it be this side. Intentionally, what I'll do is I'll take this little bit taller. This is the first layer, so we will manage all of this just there. Okay, so phthalo blue to get the darker, then again the stipple, but I would still suggest first layer. Like I said, I am trying to use this as first layer, very dry, and then it dries faster. I can apply the second layer. Just going to make it more easier. Like I said, I don't want to get into too much of details. So here there are some trees on the other side. We will put that a little bit later, because that's in the foreground. So this also we need to make sure that this plane is part of the painting, not a sticker. So that's the idea. We need to work on the foreground still. So let's just get this done. First layer. Right. Okay. Okay. So that should be done. I think it is good enough. I don't want anything darker, but we have too many other options here. Let's see. I can actually either use a fan brush or use, where is the liner brush? So either this round brush or otherwise liner brush. So you have an option actually. You can use this one too, but let's just see what happens. Smaller brushes, more detail, more time. So that's the thing that you need to keep in mind. There is no shortcut to that. If I use this, I will know that I'm actually going to get. Okay, let's just try this one. I will use fan brush. Let's try on the right hand side first. No water whatsoever because I need just little bit of as you can see the paint which I have taken, right? I need lighter. So let's just try. Before that I should have done something else. Okay, let's just try. Tree trunks, maybe, may not be, but I will come back with one more layer. This layer is not enough, I know that, because I need to manage with the dark and light color of simple, very simple. I will not make this complicated. It's just the thick forest. Fan brush works very well. If not, what I can say is, see, I have this filbert brush. You can actually use it, but I would say instead of that, the best thing what you can do is your flat brush. With flat brush, again you go vertically like that. That should be more than enough. In one of the videos I've done this, you can actually watch that one too. Intentionally, I mentioned that I've used that. Here I need a little bit lighter color for the trees. Don't lose the darkness between trees. Otherwise, you won't be able to see anything. See, as far as you can see, I have maintained at least some darkness is there in between. Okay, so some highlights we put. Before that, we need to do something else for the top of the trees. Right? Okay, let's just keep it that way because we'll finish one part and then go to the other part. I don't want anything to be spoiled here. So let's take this time I'm going to use liner brush. The top one has to be, I'm not going to go with the same color, so I'll keep it a little bit darker. So for this actually you need to add 1 or 2 drops of water. Liner brush, it has to hold water and paint. So for that reason I need to add a little bit of water and then take as much as paint you can. Now what we'll do is we'll try to get this little bit at the top, right? Put this a little bit. You don't have to do it all the way, you have to remember that. Just manage highlights and shadows. That's the main thing. Just keep looking at your painting from a little bit far away, so you will know exactly if there are any mistakes. You will be able to find out. Light is from either this side or that side, so I'm actually going to take it from there and then put light on both sides. I'll just keep it that way. Okay, so let's just paint some more here too. Yeah. The top, at least, I need to make sure that it's just there. I don't want to leave with the first layer itself. So let's just go here. Some irregular heights. You don't repeat the pattern, so that's the main intention of. Okay, right. Okay, then the next. I like the way it has come out here, but I really want to put some more highlights on that. Here, I feel that there is not enough, as far as I can see. If I take it down, there is not enough darkness between this, so I'm actually going to put that just to make sure that actually matches with what I have here. Should be good enough. And then this portion, I feel that in between has too much of paint. I'll just break this a little bit. Always I keep telling myself that I should not go after too much of detail, but still most of the time I do it anyways. Here, this part, I feel that there is not enough there. As it comes down, anyhow, light is a little bit less, so I'm actually going to keep that dark anyways. But make sure that you have the shape of the trees. Very, very important. I will leave it like that. It's good enough. I'm also looking at it from 2-3 feet, standing or sitting, but at least trying to make sure that so enough. I'm not going to put too much detail onto that. And here, if I really, really want to fix anything, these ones will fix that later a little bit. Okay, let's see. What I want to do here is I'm going to use this brush, not the liner brush. This one actually is good for some kind of highlights. So here I'm going to take that yellow, same yellow, right? Green is there, but if I put the same color, I won't be able to see. So I'm going to take a little bit of white on that, right? But it's little bit drying, so I will touch the brush in water. I'm just going to touch it, not even drop of water. So I think this should be enough. So I'm going to actually stipple this. Let's see how it actually looks. If I actually put some highlights on some of these sides. Just a little bit of highlight, not everywhere. Make sure you don't put too much, suddenly it changes everything. So you have to play with that color and how much you are actually putting and where you are actually trying to put. As you can see, I'm not going to put everywhere. I will put a little bit here as well, just to show the light, right? That makes a lot of difference just to put the highlight. So I'm going to put that little bit highlight on this one too. It doesn't paint actually doesn't have to be pointy, and a brush actually doesn't have to be pointy. So anyways, we are actually stippling here, and I will put a little bit only on this little bit. Stippling again, just the stippling, just so that I get that highlight on certain parts of the trees. I think that should be good enough. I'm not going to put too much. And here I can use some highlights and then use that brush. Right, not all of them. Just want to make sure that that is part of that. If you don't feel like it's not good, then we will change it, but not for now. Okay, so that should be good enough. I will leave it. Let me just fix a little bit something what we talked about for the faraway trees here. I wanted to put some highlights on this here. Faraway trees, I don't know, it's too much or not. Maybe I might have just followed it, but let's just see. Let me just go back with the black dark again. So with just with one layer, it doesn't end. So you have to go back and forth with sometimes. I will leave them as is because I feel that the dark behind and the front matches that. So I will leave that as is. Let it be like that. If I really need, I can actually pull this a little bit down. Right, just a minute. Okay, just so that I need to show the plane, so that's very important. One more thing here, so there is some problem here too. Let's just get that little bit darker again. Going here, I forgot this part looks very awkward. I didn't look at it. Okay, so and here too, little bit. Right, that's what I put. It just feels like okay, something is not matching here again. I think now it's better. Let's just put some highlights on that, otherwise it's looking uh, one side. I'm trying to make sure that the shape is right. That's the main intention. Right, okay, that's it. I'm not going to touch anything. So let's go on to the other side and try to do the same thing again. Let's see, this time I have more of that gold ochre. I will take green. I'll also take this. I'll also take more yellow. And what I'll do is I will not take that. So I will, as you can see, that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to mix. I will try to put as is. Let's just see where do I get that dark. its darkness is already there, but I'm not getting any lighter, so I need to get lighter. Same stippling again. Very simple. I'm not, like I said, I can go with great detail and then have this done. It will take forever. Let's just do a simple method so that everyone can follow. And there is a problem with this here. Although I did all of this, so the color actually is too yellowish. I don't have dark. I'm going to take some dark here mixed with phthalo blue and that, and then try to put some dark between. Like I said, this is where you need to make sure. So right, entirely different. On the other side of this, so you can think maybe there is more light this side. Again, I'm going to leave it at that. Let's go back with that dark one again before we put any highlights. That's what I want to do first. Then we think of a little bit more highlights on that other side. So here it's dried. I can actually use there is one more. It doesn't have to be all regular shapes, so I am going to put like that. Liner brush. I'm using liner brush so that as you can see I'm managing with the colors, otherwise I won't be able to see exactly what I'm far away trees and then the closer trees. A little bit of darkness is there. I will just leave it like that. I will not play with that. So here, as far as I can see, that part, this part actually looks a little bit awkward. So I am actually going to make it look like T shape. I think you have to just keep looking at your painting from a little bit further away and then try to figure out yourself. I am trying to see that part. Here the tree comes, so that means actually I can have a shape, something like that, right? Again, I do the same thing here. If tree is there, then I think this one actually has to have some kind of highlights, and this one will be that side. And again, let's just take a drop of water and try to put some of the trees here. Not all of them actually has to be with the same shot. Some I am going to leave some of them just as is, so they are with the same colors. I will leave this as is, and but this one here intentionally I'm going to take it to the top, little bit darker. So make sure that it's not going to look like sticker. So and then here feels like actually I just stippled too much and then light won't reach there, so that's what we'll be after. And then I feel that that one, it doesn't have much of a shape on the other side, right? I think I have tried, but now what we'll do is I will use the other brush and try to put some highlights and bring out the shapes. For that reason, that white and yellow, little bit of green, but it's more brighter compared to. And again, this is the stippling, so I'm just using some old brush. It doesn't come to a point properly, so but that's okay. So here, if I'm actually looking at that, then this side we put highlights on that side. This side we put highlights on this side here. Let's get that shape, right? Some of them actually might be that side too. So okay, we'll go back and again see that if our trees don't look good, then we need to put some darker colors. We'll see. I just feel that maybe we need to put some right. Okay, I am not going to put too much, but I feel that somewhere something is. I need to put some dark. Let me just figure it out. Uh, for this tree and then this tree, it doesn't feel like actually they are. And this one there, and this, yeah, just like that. And here, something like that. Something looks very straight here. I'm just going back and forth with this. Little bit darker again. At the bottom, I'm actually going to put some dark here. That is the only way. But I can keep this. Okay, so at the bottom is darker. Makes more sense. Pull this downwards, pull this downwards, and here I'm actually going more darker. Yes. I will not take this. Okay, so let's go back to our uh, first filbert brush. This is the time that if I really want to make any of this, for that I also need some burnt sienna. So let's just take some burnt sienna here itself. Okay. This lid is broken, but I'm just trying to cover this with this. Let's just see. Okay. Burnt sienna. For that, what I want here is, let's just take some burnt sienna first and then put that mud color here and there, and then we will see where to go with that. So according to this, as far as I can see, here is a little bit of mud type is there, here little bit, and I can't see there. Here not much. Again it's all perspective, right? So you have to keep that in mind. I'm going to just put at the edge, right? Water is actually flowing on that, so here I won't be able to see much. And then stones, if I want, I can actually put some stones, highlights, some here, and then some here, stones, and here. Then I won't be able to see this much. Yes, I'll be able to see this from here. Okay, daughter is back. Yes. Okay.
Is there actually a thunderstorm cloud in the reference photo?
Yes. Main thing is
Feels like a cloud storm is going to happen there.
It's cloud, and that is the main intention of this painting, correct? It is cloud and the foreground with just a simple what do you call, trees. All this we will manage. This is all just the edge of this. So I will manage this. If you really want a little bit darker, make sure that you take some. I
That
can
brown
take
is for all we are going to do is to make sure that the bushes are 3D, not they're like lying flat like grass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that a river or a road?
I think it is just a stream, river, maybe. I think so.
Yeah, because it's the reflection of the cloud. And it doesn't look like it rained. Yet.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we're filming this in the rainy season.
Yes.
Even though we're recording in the rainy season.
So I'm just trying to put this, just like whatever, wherever you see this. We'll try to go over all of this again. There is a tree here, but I don't know how I'm going to manage that, but that's okay. So now what I'll do is, with the same thing, I'll just take some white and mix it with that watercolor we had, burnt sienna, with a little bit of paint spray. And then now on top, just try to put some highlights. Doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, I'm just showing a very easy method. If you want to put even more of highlight on this, you can put, just adding a little bit more white. It also actually has to get some light, right? So there, enough, I think. Okay, should be good enough. So now is the time, but before that, we will not make that mistake this grass on this actually is on top of the water, so water I need to paint. We have left white. Water is not blue, it just reflects what is around. So these are too far, it reflects my sky. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of blue and then that grayish color. Then we put some water lines, it should be enough. Yeah, let's take Cerulean Blue itself. We don't want to mess up with that. Okay, so let's take very mixed with white. Doesn't have to be, again, like I said, it doesn't have to be too bluish. So what I'm going to do here is put some blue, bluish green. Okay, so now we do the same thing with little bit of Payne's gray and white. I'm not going to put too thick. I don't want that to be too dark either. I want to make sure that's just enough gray. See, it was too dark actually. Let's just see if we get just enough gray. Okay, let's put this on this and figure out, because we need to put some yeah, it should be enough. You can actually leave white here itself if you really want. See, I will just leave white here itself. Let's see how it looks. We can, if you want, we can put later, but I am actually going to leave that white of the water, the stream which is flowing.
Now it looks more like a stream.
Right?
Did you apply white before you applied that blue?
No, there is no white there. I'm just applying this what I have here. If you want, we can come back with white later, but
If you can, you also put a little bit gray, because if it's a stream, it should reflect what's on the sky.
that is the gray I'm trying to put now. I'm not going to put too dark gray, but I am just
If you put too dark gray, it feels like it's polluted. And try not
Here
to.
I am actually going to go a little bit darker and leave it like that. Okay. Okay, so that is the light gray that I have actually reflected here. So because I need something darker if I really want to put something water lines on top of that. So I cannot just leave it like that. That's the way you need to manage the values. Yes. So that actually makes more sense. So I need to make sure that it's actually going to go with that. Before that, maybe no, because that one comes later. Okay, let's do that one. Let's take this. Let's fix with this one, and then maybe I think I need to put some tree here. According to that, there is one. Okay, so this is the good part. Uh, Darker is not needed. I can actually use fan brush, but I'm going to use this brush itself. Let's just see how it goes. But you have to play with the color here itself. So I have Hooker's green, phthalo blue, and that yellow. If it is not enough, then we will see. So I'm actually going to stipple because I can see some kind of so this is the time where if you want, you can actually hide those, not the stones at the bottom at least. That's why I was saying we need to put that first. Right? So that way actually. Right, okay. On the left hand side I will do the same, but I'm not going to do too much. I want to keep a little bit of I think it should be good enough. Let me just take some more yellow and take different yellow here this time. Just opaque color, just to get some highlights, little bit of highlights. Okay, let's just see how this works. Yeah, much better. Okay, let's do the same thing here as well. Different yellow, right? Again, little bit of different yellow here too. Right, and here I want to get the same effect as well. Little bit of the same middle. So, okay, so now what I can do here is, let's go back with our burnt sienna. A little bit of this, little bit of, it's like a Van Dyke brown, darker. I am going to make this a little bit darker now. I need more. Okay, let's just see. At the bottom, I'm going to make it a little bit darker just to get that contrast. Right? Do the same here, little bit here and there. Right? Okay, so now I need a little bit of white. Just put some streamlines, little bit of white. Because now that is dried, I can actually use liner brush. Some lines, although we have some lines here already, I'm going to put some lines. Okay, here not much visible, here maybe. little bit, make little bit of big ones, small ones. As you come closer, the only way you can actually deal with this when you put a little bit darker, then you can actually realize the white lines. Otherwise, like I said, you will not be able to see this if it is just white. Just going to put some lines here so you will actually see. Oh, makes more sense. So I think that should be more than enough. If I really want that tree, I can put it here, or otherwise I can just leave it there itself. Let's just see. Some stone highlights. Not going to put everywhere, but at least something that you get to see. Right? I think that should be enough. I'm not going to do anything. So for now, I think it's good. So we have done a good job. Very easy painting, like you have seen. I've shown you exactly the brushes I've used, how I've used. Main thing is the concentration is the composition where we took the horizon line and then the clouds type of sky and then simple trees, the depth, the perspective, everything is in this. So I hope you enjoyed this, and let me just remove this anyways before. I'll show you once this is actually framed, because the way I'm actually planning is definitely different. So because if I remove this, the edge will give you a proper view of the entire painting. So as you can see, that's what we painted. So I hope you enjoyed this session, and then I'll see you next Sunday. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and then have a good day, and then I'll see you next week. Bye for now.